Hello, hello, welcome to Horning. And I would like to start by saying today is a great day to have a great day. Go Hawks! Congrats on joining us here at Horning, and congrats on moving up to middle school. So before we get too far into this, if you do not already know, my name is Mrs. Beadle. I'm an 8th grade teacher at Horning Middle School, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about Horning, and I'm going to hopefully give you some information that's going to make you feel real confident about your first few days in middle school. So first things first, let's talk houses. Horning has a house system, and you'll hear this a lot while you're here at Horning, but basically what that means is that there are a few teachers that work with a smaller group of students. So this gives us more time for you to get help. It gives us a more close-knit community. It's easier to make friends because you have the same group of kids that you're traveling with during the day, and it makes for less travel time. All of your classes are organized so that your teachers are all in the same spot. It is a great way to transition in, but what this means for you is that you're going to have 2 to 3 teachers for all of your core classes, meaning math, science, social studies, and literacy. Depending on where you're at, it might be 2, it might be 3, but then all of those teachers work together, so we are able to help you even more. So that being said, I want to show you a quick little video about what other people think about our houses.
Houses was one of the ideas that was thrown out by teachers a lot. They thought that it would be great socially, emotionally for kids. They thought that it would be great academically for kids. And it's just because of the hard work of all the teachers at Horning that houses became a real thing this year.
For the work completion, it's actually awesome for me because it makes me more responsible and it makes it easier for me to get my work done. And if you don't do your work, you can also do it later at a certain time. And I just really like it.
They connect every lesson with each other. Literacy connects with history, It's,
So now I feel like it's this all the teachers, they kind of teach all subjects kind of together, but separately. I feel like now it's when I'm in science and stuff, and I can still ask the same teacher about the same project.
We also have flexibility of our schedule that allows us, if we need to spend more time on one thing, we're all going to be working on stamina and reading rules as our group, and so it's crossed the curriculum a lot more.
Is that my teachers have made connect time where we have time to get all of our homework done, and we can go to other teachers if we need help, and we can go to other students to get more work done.
You're put with people that you become more friendly with, so you make more closer friends than having a bunch of people as we did last year. So in certain houses you're familiar with the teachers, so you can get more you trust the teachers, you can talk to them more, you can learn more, you trust you academically.
The houses this year are really good because we have a bigger bond with all our friends, and we are way closer with our teachers this year than we were last year because we had so many different students in our classes with the teachers, and this year there's just those kids in your house.
The house system has helped with building relationships with students, giving them a feeling of community, helping them understand who they can go to on a regular basis.
I like having houses because it's more organized and we get to know our teachers better and we get to hang out with people we might not have known last year.
What I like about the house system is that at the end of the day we get connect, and it gives me time to do my homework, so I don't have as much stuff to do at home.
I think that the house structure is very nice because it lets you have a lot more interactive time with your teachers, and the time that you spend with your advisory people, it lets you build a very much of a bigger bond with them, and it helps you get a lot more of your work done because you have the more extra time to do that.
You know what's really good is how we have like an advisory at like every single day, so we can like come and meet in like one classroom and like kind of like reflect on how the day went and do our homework. Like we can how do I say that? We can like we're better than we were last year.
As a teacher, I think that houses have been amazing for me as a professional because I've been able to get to know a lot of my students a lot better than I have ever in the past.
But now it's like comfort. It's like comfort. It's like my family.
Yeah, I understand why they like put us in this because like we got comfortable with each other and
putting a group of people together and them all becoming friendly and close like a family.
And then I feel like it's all better, like when we say like we all like family, like we all connected like somehow, like because of the house.
So that is a little bit about why we have houses at Horning and the journey of which it's been to be here. So we are very, very excited to bring you along on this journey with us. So first things first, we need to figure out which house you're in. You can do this by looking at your schedule at Infinite Campus. I have a separate link attached to this slideshow, as well as wherever this is posted should be that there as well. But in your future schedules or in your schedule for this school year, you should be able to see who your teachers are, and that will help us start to figure out your house. So, 6th grade houses. First and foremost, we have like A and B and dual language and flight. The letters don't mean anything. That's a common question that we get when people come in and like, well, if I'm in 6A, does that mean that I'm better than 6B? Or if I'm in 6B, does that mean that I'm better than 6A? No, they're just letters. They're a way for us to talk about each group and have a title. So in 6A, we have 3 core teachers and a special ed teacher, Miss Gendrich, Mr. Ranke, Mr. Dalbra, and Mrs. Bitson. In 6B, we have Ms. Mitchell, Mr. Sira, Mr. Olmick, and Mrs. Knutson. In 6th dual language, we have Ms. Diaz-Reyes, Mr. Flamboy, Ms. Hansen, and Ms. Hernandez. And then in flight, just a little different. I don't have the teacher subjects next to it just because it's a little different. But you have Ms. Kaiser, Ms. Crowder, Mr. Lease, Ms. Lance, Ms. Mott, Mr. Riley, Mr. Taggy, and Ms. Hawkins. If you are curious, there is a link down there at the bottom right here that lets you see your teacher's pictures. It goes to the Horning staff directory so you can actually look up and see what they look like before you start. So now that you have your teacher names, let's talk, what's your schedule look like? So a basic schedule is here. This is the schedule for Monday through Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's everything except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays are just a little wonky. So the times here, like I said, are for those 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the only difference is that Wednesday's times are just going to be a little shorter because this first time is a little longer. So the first part of the day is advisory or SOAR. That's where you're coming in to your advisory teacher. It's a way to get your day started. It's very calm. And it's a great place for us to start to check in. From there, if you are in 6A, 6B, 6 dual language, you're going to follow this column here. And if you're in flight, you're going to follow this column here. So as the day progresses, if you are in 6A, B, or dual, you follow the core classes from first hour to 5th hour. So that means your teachers are actually building that time and those classes for you. So when you come in on the first couple days, you'll actually get that time filled out with kind of a secondary schedule where they'll tell you exactly where you need to be and when you need to be there. After that, you go to third lunch, and then you have 2 elective classes. If you are in flight, you have your core classes in the morning, 1 through 4. Then you have lunch, and then you have an elective class. And then you have either elective or core classes, depending on if it's an A day or a B day. And again, your teachers are going to tell you when and where you need to be during those core class times as well. So let's talk about what a core versus an elective class is. So a core class is the same for everyone. It is something that you have to have. That means literacy, math, science, and social studies. Core classes are those 4 big subjects, and everyone has to have them. Elective classes can be different for everyone, and they can be choices. So things like band, music, orchestra, and choir, French and Spanish, tech ed, art, foods, cooking, business, computers, AVID, that's just to name a few. And then obviously everyone has to have gym. That is a state requirement. In 6th grade, you actually rotate through elective classes in what's called a wheel. So you will actually be put into these classes, so you get to try out a bunch of different things right away. And then after 6th grade, in 7th, 8th grade, and then even in high school, these elective classes, you start to get to pick. So if you're like, I actually tried this, like cooking class, and I really like it. I wanna do more of it. The wheel is supposed to expose you or give you a chance to try out a bunch of these different classes so that you get the opportunity when you do get to choose, you start to know what you like. Like I said, everyone has gym. That will be either A days or B days, and then you will eventually get the choice to opt into everyday gym if you are somebody who likes that. Study halls also do start to come up after 6th grade as well. There also might be some time slotted in your schedule for interventions. So intervention is there to help you build your skills in another class. I absolutely love my intervention class. It is one of my favorites of the whole day. They're usually small groups of people, and they're really there to help you out. Now, I mentioned A days and B days when I was talking specifically about that flight schedule, but also gym. So A days and B days are the way that we alternate our days. This gives you a chance for more electives because they're every other day. And then it can also fill in for your gym time. So I have an example here. It's not the proper year schedule, but it just does show you how it alternates. A day, B day, A day, B day. If you end on a Friday with a B day, you're going to come back Monday on an A day. If you end on an A day on Friday, you'll come back with a B day on Monday. And they balance each other out all the way throughout the year. Let's talk about the school. So at the time of you watching this, Horning is currently undergoing renovations. If you are watching this in the future and not the summer of 2020, please know that the building should have been updated by this point, and we are very happy and excited about that. So let's talk about the map of the school. So House 6A, 6B, and 6 dual language. All of your core classes are upstairs on the 2nd floor. Music classes and Spanish classes are also on the 2nd floor, but then everything else is going to be on the 1st floor. You can see I have a little picture here. 6A are these 3 rooms, 6B are these 3 rooms, and 6 dual language are these 3 rooms. So it was very strategically done so that all of your classes, your core classes, remember literacy, math, science, and social studies, are all really close together. And then your locker will actually be in an area very close to those as well. So all of that will help you make sure you're to classes on time and give you that safe space so you don't have to run around the building like a crazy person. If you are in flight, all of your core classes are actually downstairs. They are in this orange color. So these are all flight rooms here, as well as the flight commons and the lab and the cafe are also all a part of this space. So that's on the 1st floor. The music classes and the Spanish classes are upstairs on the 2nd floor. But then everything else is going to be down on the 1st floor as well. So your electives that are not music or Spanish are all on the 1st floor. So I do have pictures in here, and if you want to look at this spreadsheet, or excuse me, the slides on your own, I do have the maps linked in for you with both the 1st floor and the 2nd floor. So if you're curious as to where the gym is, or the cafeteria, or maybe a sibling who is also at Horning, you can kind of look around and see where everyone is. The last thing I have for you is a list of links. So if you want to know more information, there is a bunch of links that I put out here. So first and foremost on there is the student handbook. Those are the school rules. If you haven't looked at this yet and you are new to middle school, I recommend checking it out. Some of the rules are the same that you've been doing, and some of them are a little different. So it's an interesting thing to check out. After that is the clubs and activities. So as part of those new rules also comes with a little bit of new freedom. There are a bunch of clubs and after school activities that you can be a part of, as well as some sports, both intramural and intramural. So to click on that link if you want to know more about some of those fun activities you can do. I do have our school supply list linked on there, so if you are curious as to what you're going to need, that is updated for you. for your parents, if they're watching or if you want to tell them, we do have a parent-site council at Horning. It's an opportunity for parents to still be involved in middle school, even though we don't necessarily have a PTO or parent-teacher organization. It's a great way for parents to be involved and to help them with the transition too, because believe it or not, your parents might also need help transitioning as you go off to middle school, or might want that help. They might not need it. And then finally, that same link that I told you before is pictures of your teachers. So if you click on it, it will take you to our Horning website. Ta-da! And it will take you to the staff directory so you can search up people's names. And as always, you can also click on the administrators to see our principal, Mr. Blessington, vice principal is Mr. Lyday, and our dean of students is Miss Inkman. So that being said, I hope that I taught you or at least answered some of your questions about middle school, especially coming to Horning. And with that being said, today's a great day to have a great day. You're going to hear this a lot. Go Hawks! And we are so excited to have you here with us.